Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, beautiful souls, to another Mindset Monday. We are so grateful that you're investing some time with us here tonight. And just like the music that we just listened to, this community is a community of love. You are welcome here. Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you're about. We are here because we value growth and we value community. And that's what Wave Makers is all about. It's about creating positive waves of change for ourselves, our community, and the world. And on this call, we're going to dive into some internal work. And I just want to give a little preface. This is not just a call that we're going to give you information for you to be inspired and motivated and go on with your day. This is going to truly take some internal work. I know I've been doing it for myself today, and I will be doing even after this call. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Okay. Last week we covered strengths, right? We covered finding our strengths. And this week we're going to go to the exact other side of the spectrum, which is identifying our weaknesses. Okay. So if you're taking notes, that's the topic of tonight's call, identifying our weaknesses. And before I dive in, the 4 simple and straightforward points that I have to make here tonight, I just want to say there's no reason for us to pretend and act like we don't have weaknesses, because we all do. And we're all limited and we're all perfectly imperfect. And it's just a great place to be in when we are aware of that and when we're okay with that. And most importantly, when we're able to be around other people and build a team. Right? That's what it's about. So if you are taking notes with us tonight, the first point that I want to bring to you, and it's really a question for you to go on and then invest your own time and dive in and find out about yourself. Okay. Here's the question. What makes you tick? That's the question. So write that down if you're taking some notes. What makes you tick? And I'm going to give you some examples of some things that makes me tick, in order for you to know what maybe a direction, have a direction, an example, okay? So some things that make me tick: freedom. I value freedom a lot, okay? Purpose, community, growth, traveling, transformation, and goals. They get me excited. Accountability, friendship, love, they get me excited. And it's really important for us to find that out, and here's why, right? And I encourage you to make a list for yourself, just a simple list just to get you going, right? Let me just stop for a second. Let's take 20 seconds, write down three things that make you tick and put it on paper. Take some time for yourself right now. Some reflection time. This is good. I encourage you to spend some more time after this call and continue that, right? Find out what gets you excited, what gets you going. And then this is the point and the reason that I'm bringing this to you guys. We must listen to our own emotions, okay? And ask ourselves the question, what are our emotions telling us? What are my emotions telling me? Because if you're someone, as an example, that value freedom, I'm gonna be able to find out what gets me unmotivated, what gets me down, if you will. Okay, so that's really the second point that I want to bring to you guys, right? After we do this internal work, this reflection work of what gets us going, what gets us excited, and we listen to our emotions, the second point, if you're taking notes, number 2 is this: what do you suffer with? Just write it down. What do you suffer with? And here's why we're going to do that. We're going to be able to pinpoint our weaknesses. Okay? And here are some subsections that can help you with finding out what you suffer with. What gives you a lack of energy? That's the first one. What is it that when you think about doing, you're just like, ah, man, I'm just really tired. I don't know if I want to do that right now. Lack of energy, procrastination. Write that down. This is good stuff. This is important. Best company you can invest in is You Inc. Okay. What is an activity that gives you no positive emotion when you think about doing it? What is an activity that gives you no positive emotion when you think about doing it? Maybe it's, when you think about going to your job and doing a specific work, or going back to a job, or, working in a specific company, or working with some people, or, whatever that looks like to you, that maybe you've been doing because you thought you had to, and now you're coming to realize, like, I don't enjoy doing this at all. It brings me no positive emotions. And maybe that could be something that you can either throw away, delegate, or change, just completely change and do something else. And then the last one is this, that can help you pinpoint your weakness. What are things that others do much better than you? Like a lot of people, they do it way better than you, but that you're trying to do, and you're not excited about doing it, and you're not passionate about, and others are way better than you. That could lead you to finding out that maybe you've been doing some things that are really, that weakness area that you've been putting a lot of energy into. Maybe it's something that you don't need to be doing at all. Maybe you're putting, 80% of your time in the 20% that gives you the results, when you need to be putting 20% of your time there, or 5%, right? Number 3 is going to help us. And this is just the foundational work. Again, guys, this is just to get you some ideas. This is just to get you thinking, get all of us thinking, right? Number 3 is this. After you do that, what patterns do you see? Observe them. What patterns do you see? And get specific with it. One thing I'll share with you guys, in the line of work that I'm in, and a lot of us are here working together, one thing that I genuinely do not enjoy doing at all is when it comes to back-end customer service. Not a fan of it, don't like it, don't enjoy it, and guess what? There's a corporate side that can take care of that for people. I don't need to do it. But I was the one doing it for everybody, and then I had to come to terms like, man, what am I doing? Why am I doing it if it brings me no good emotions, if it's not really producing and it's not the best way that I can bring value to people? The best gift that you have to give? You. So that's why we're doing this, okay? All right, observe it. What patterns do you see? Observe them. And then really, this is just to bring everything home here, and the reason why it's so important for us to also find out our weaknesses. And yes, let's improve on them. Yes, if they're necessary, yes, let's get better. And no, we don't need to put all of our energy and our focus on them. But here's where it can all come together. Teamwork. 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 What are you not good at? What is your weakness? Who is good at that thing that you're not good at? Become friends with them. Become business partners with them. Become running partners with them. That is the point. And look, I think that all of us here, if you wouldn't be here if you're not someone that's driven by growth and creating great things in your life. If you're not excited about becoming better, you wouldn't be here, right? So we're all on the same page there. But let me tell you guys something. One weakness that I used to have, not anymore, I used to have, was this. I thought I had to do it all on my own. And if you feel like that on your side, if you think that by asking for help, it shows signs of weakness, I'm going to tell you that does not come from God. That comes from your ego. If you think that you cannot ask for help because you think you're less than others if you don't ask for help, or ask like we just mentioned here, seek ways to delegate and allow others to bring their gifts in a specific area, and you think you need to do it all on your own, maybe it's a little bit of pride, maybe it's a little bit of ego. And I used to have that. That used to be me. And that's no longer me. I'm free from that. And now I ask for help when I know I need help. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing, because I know that you can, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. If you want to go far, you need other people. Tell me one great movement or great company or great service or great product that was created by one person alone. I will wait forever. There isn't. We don't know about them. There's always teamwork involved. So that's my encouragement to you is find a great team that you can work with. Find people that you can relate with, and build that dream team, right? Be the leader, be the self-starter to reach out to people. Don't always wait for others to reach out to you, and go and build that dream team or join a dream team, right? And really the last one here, which I was gonna mention, find what you have to bring to the table. And I'm gonna give you guys a tool here. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. And if you're watching the recording, we're gonna drop it in the YouTube description box. Here is a tool that you can then take some time, invest the time to finding out what your strengths and weaknesses are, what your gifts are. This is the DISC test by Tony Robbins. This one goes deep, right? There's a lot of personality tests, great ones out there. Do them as well. But this one right here, for me personally, I've been able to find out, some things about myself, and it is so spot on. Exactly, Eric. It does go deep. And it's going to show you what your dominance is, what your influence is, what you're steady at, and what you're conscientious of. This is really, really good work. Invest that time into yourself and find out what you're good at, so that what you got to bring to the table, where your value is at, and then you're going to learn that you're more valuable than maybe you think you are. Okay, so I love you guys. I hope that this was brought a little bit of maybe some ideas that you can take on and go on and work on yourself, right? This is internal work. We're all on our own journey here, and we can spend some time together, and let's keep it growing. So I love you guys. Thank you. I know our brother Mike Batanti is going to take on, and he's going to dive in a little bit more into, how can we leverage other people and getting feedback from others, and much more. So I'm super excited to continue on this topic and take some notes. So brother Mike Batanti, you on a call?
I am. Can you hear me, bud?
Awesome. Yes, sir. Take it away.
I love that, man. Such great content. Observing patterns, right? And identifying what we're after. I personally, the things that get me fired up: growth, inspiring others, and creating. Those are the three things that I wrote down. I appreciate you, man. You bring so much value to the table every time you speak. I'm looking for one person on this call. There's 26 of you. I need one to plug in to what I'm about to say, right? Because you need to hear it more than you know. I was pretty calm coming into this, and then Jump Radio got me all types of fired up. So, my drill. I'm going to stand and deliver. Nick brought up something that's so powerful, and I want to touch on it, right? Feedback from other people. If you got pen and paper, I want you to write some of this stuff down, because it's going to register for you. It's going to make a lot of sense. My first question, the question that you should ask yourself before you reach out to other people is, what do I think about it? Sometimes we don't even give ourselves a chance to think about it before we're like reaching out. Well, what does Eric think? Well, what does Nick think? I don't know, Mike, have you thought about it, and have you prayed about it? Have you given this thing any time before you go seeking the opinions of others to be influenced by, to be swayed by, to be convinced by, to be directed by, right? We're constantly reaching outwards, right? Before we give ourselves a chance to isolate the situation and make a decision. Here are some things that I would like to ask you about the people you're consulting with. Do you trust them? Do you respect them? What do their values look like? Do they have integrity? Have they actually achieved what they're telling you to achieve? I can't tell you how powerful that one is. It's usually my single friends who are telling me how to manage my struggling relationship, right? It's usually my broke friends who are telling me what business opportunity to pursue and what not to pursue, right? Isn't it funny how the people who don't have what we're looking for are the first to verbalize what we should do and what we shouldn't do? You know why they have so much time to be all up in your business? Because they got nothing going on, right? People who are chasing their own dreams and in their own lane usually don't have time to be criticizing you and telling you what you should or should not be doing. So it's so important, right? To identify where's the address from the information coming from? Who is the person actually giving this to me? Right? And that's so much almost more important than the information that's actually being delivered. Right? An analogy, my father always told me to invest into people, right? Look at the people behind the company. Don't look at the company. Don't look at the product. Look at the people behind the company, behind the product. And I'm asking you to do the same thing with your feedback. Don't look at the feedback, right? Look at the person delivering the feedback and work your way backwards to what they actually told you. It makes a huge difference. Some of us are just receptors. I'm a huge empath. I'm constantly picking up other people's everything. And sometimes I'm literally taking to heart information from people who couldn't be further from somebody who I should be taking advice from. They just happened to be the mouth that was there when I decided to open up my ears, right? So pay attention, right? Here are some key things in the conversation of identifying our weaknesses, right? My question to you, what does your self-awareness look like? How aware are you of the things that make you happy, the things that make you unhappy, the things that make you productive, the things that make you unproductive, the things that grab your soul and take it in the right direction, and the things that grab your soul and your dreams and your goals and your hunger and your fight and take you in the wrong direction? How aware are you? Some people are so unaware that they average 10 hours of unproductive screen time a day. You have no idea that you're on your phone as much as you are every single day, and none of it is money making, none of it is soul searching, none of it is relationship building. All of it is aimless scrolling, one video after another, this police brutality, this riot gone wrong, this new waged war on humanity. And you have no idea how long you're actually on there. Lack of self-awareness, right? For me personally, sometimes I have no idea how I'm saying the things that I'm saying. I'm coming from a good place, but sometimes I'm so feisty and I need people like Nick Teixeira, who I trust, who has great values, who has my respect, who has the things that I want, who is coming from a great place to be like, yo, Mike, I know you don't see it, but you're feisty. So just speak a little calmer. Right? Take a breath, slow down. You're yelling at these people. That lady is 65 years old trying to do this business, and you are screaming at her, right? It's coming from a great place, right? But naturally, I'm not aware of how fired up I actually get, and I need great friends and positive influences to provide feedback. That's how you create self-awareness, is through reflection, through soul searching, and through feedback, right? Another thing about that feedback, some things that I didn't touch on that I want to go back, right? What is that person's motives for dishing you feedback? What are their motives? Some people literally just love to nitpick. Is that what your motive is? Because you have to nitpick? There has to be something wrong with this, right? The other thing, here's the big one, and I want you to take this because it's so applicable, because sometimes I check off, yeah, I trust them. Yeah, I respect them. Their values are great. Their integrity is awesome. Their motives are great. In this present moment, where is their heart? Sometimes I just catch my mother on a bad day. Sometimes I catch Eric Brown on a bad day, right? And he's got so much going on in his world. And so when I'm asking him for advice, the present moment of Eric Brown is not in a stable moment to be giving advice, but his heart's going to give advice anyway. So ask these tough questions before you start grabbing and applying and grabbing and applying and grabbing and applying. It's important, right? Let's talk about the reflection side of things. So self-awareness is important. How do we build it? Through reflection. Write this word down in huge letters. Solitude. Write that word down. Solitude. Some of you, you never put the phone down. You never turn the music off. You never isolate yourself from other people. You never turn the TV off. You never close the laptop. You never stop and just exist. And that's why your chances of reflecting on the things that are happening to you and the things that have happened to you and the things that are going to happen to you, your ability to stop and let God speak to you, it's severely diminished. You have no quiet time, right? So that word right there is one of the biggest words for reflection. And reflection is one of the biggest concepts of self-awareness. And self-awareness is one of the biggest things for self-improvement and identifying your weaknesses and growing as a human being. Welcome to the party, right? So I can't express it enough. If you never shut it off and just exist, then you're going to have a hard time with seeing the things that you're struggling with, facing your demons, right? With identifying them, with identifying how many times am I reaching out before I reach in? Oh God. How many times do I reach out before I reach in? How many times do I ask Gabe before I ask God? Ouch. Right? And talk about the pressure that you're putting on other people. You don't even know the question because you haven't given this thing any thought. And you're still just, somebody save me. Somebody give me the right answer. Somebody tell me what to do. Right? You don't trust yourself. That's why you're constantly reaching outwards. But there's hope. And here's the hope. When you can begin to make time for solitude and you can begin to identify the things that that you're struggling with and the things that are hurting you, right? And then you can begin to identify why those things are hurting you and reflect on those things, right? Then we can formulate a plan, right? And once you have that plan, writing the paper is so simple. Once you have the outline, writing the paper is a walk in the park. 80% of the work is off the field. 80% of the work is done at practice. Game day is we just show up and do what we do. What do you mean? Right? And so I'm asking you to put in that hard work. Here are some reflection questions for you. Write them down. Every time you go through an experience that really needs to be evaluated, every time you go through something that hurts, man, that hurts. I'm crying. This hurts, right? We've all been there. Some of you hold it better together way more than me. I'm like in the middle of the room, literally sobbing, crying. And this hurts, right? But here's what I have to do, because too often I am saying, them. I'm hurting because of them. I'm constantly putting the blame outside, constantly putting the attention outside. So here's what I do now. I say, what did I do? Michael, what did you do? Not what did they do? Not what did Nick do? Nick. Right? What did I do is the question. What was I thinking while I was doing that? What were my thoughts while I was doing what I did? And how do I feel about it? Right? What did I do? What was I thinking while I did it? And how do I feel about it now? These are great trigger questions that take the finger and redirect it, right? You are so quick to point out the stick in your neighbor's eye and there's a plank sticking out of your eye. You refuse to turn the finger around, and in your hurt, you refuse to ask the tough questions like, what was my role? Right? And that is the beginning of self-reflection. And self-reflection is the beginning of self-awareness. And self-awareness is the beginning, right, of identifying our weaknesses. And once we've done all that hard work and you've prayed about it, feel free. Consult with your cabinet. Consult with your trusted advisors. Seek help from other people. But before you seek help from other people, you better start leaning on yourself a little more. Louisa has no idea what's going on in my brain and my heart and my dreams. She doesn't dream what I dream. So me asking her for feedback is very limited. It only goes so far, right? My heart beats for me. So doesn't that give you a cue that like you should be conversing more with you? You should be conversing more with the person who is feeling those feelings, right? And you begin to notice some changes, right? So that's what I got for you. Drop some twos if I got you. All I need is one. Much love. Nikki T, back to you.
My brother, spot on, man. I love it. I took a lot of notes. I'm going to be diving into this solitude. That's the big key word that I got there. It is truly a powerful thing, and I'm such an infant at that, you know. But I'm excited to dive in more and lean on the Lord, lean on myself, and then begin to lean on the trusted people in my life. So I love it. I hope you guys took a lot of value. Those of you watching the recording, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you can be a part of our live calls sometime soon. And we're going to dive into some 15 minutes of mastermind now. Thank you and God bless you.